Okay. Let's get this shared out on social media because people complain I don't share the links enough. So let's do that real quick. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I can hear myself. Okay, not my goal. All right, so real quick, we're gonna post these out on Facebook. And all right. Dun, dun, dun. All right, and there's a few things I gotta fix over here. I'm still getting the hang of this streaming software. And then next is let's see, where else should I put? Okay, FolgerTech, my page. Oh yeah, the and where nerdy is cool. Be a good idea to mention that over there. And that's working good. Nice little free advertising for FolgerTech, the coffee mug. Okay, so I think that covers all the social media stuff I had to hit. And if anyone's tuned in and watching, say hello, let me know. I'd be really curious to know if the audio is working okay. For whatever reason, the audio was going through the webcam. I have 4 cameras, and for whatever reason today, when I started up, it's not using it. So, go figure. So that's one of the pieces I got to put in. Once we get some people here signed in, we'll do a little bit of a catch up here and show you what we got so far. All right, wrong mouse. See, that's the thing. I have multiple laptops going. I got laptop number 1, which is controlling the studio software. We're using Streamlabs OBS, and it's doing a pretty good job. The problem is that the operator hasn't taken the time to really learn how to take advantage of all of its features yet. And then my second laptop I'm using on YouTube, so I can respond to the questions and comments we get during the live chat, as well as Facebook. And I think I am caught up on all the responses. I am. Good, good. All right, trash can is somewhere around here. Don't worry, it's not coffee, it's hot chocolate. I was going to have some music playing in the background, but with all the copyright stuff going on with YouTube, it'd probably get flagged. So much for having music in the background. let me just make sure I have everything opened up that I need. I do have the directions opened up. Let me just give you a, let's see, we got 2 people watching so far. Woohoo! All right, so this is the main camera. This is the Canon T7i. It's my DSLR. This is the one you may recognize that I do most of my videos on because of the quality. The other camera here, this is the webcam that is sitting on the desk. So for close-ups, it comes in very handy. Also have another camera sitting over here, which is the one built into the laptop. And what's funny about the one on the laptop is people always see the white glow above me. Now, just so you're aware, there's a great big bright LED shop light, okay? So if you see that glow from above, that isn't Jesus calling me home. I hope not, anyway. I'm fine, and we're gonna have a good time tonight, but no, that light over there isn't the heavens opening up saying, Paul, come back. So not tonight, anyway. Then the fourth angle is the directions. Always good to have during a build. And if the audio is, let me just bring that back a little bit. If someone could tell me in the live chat if the audio is too loud or if I'm too loud or what have you, just give me a yell, let me know. And we have gone through several pages of this. And I just need to bring us back to where we left off last night. Okay, we did that. We did that. We got that. This is where we left off last night. Not loud enough. Okay, well, let me boost this back up. All right. How's that? The one thing that's throwing off the microphone is I have the heater running in the background, and it keeps on picking up, I think, the hiss of that. But with any luck, here we go. Much better. Okay. So what it's doing is I believe it's pulling in audio from the laptop. I wanted to have it pull in from one of the cameras, but apparently that just was not able to be done tonight. So there it is. So last night where we left off, oh, you can't hear the heater? Okay, good. Very good. First off, my name is Paul with Where Nerdy is Cool. Let me go back to the main camera here so I'm speaking to you. Let's see, I remember JD Kamek from last night and the previous session. So welcome everybody. This is my channel Where Nerdy is Cool, where we do all my fun projects. Largely 3D printing, the R2D2 stuff, you name it. Now, where we left off last night, and let me go get the beast. All right. Let me move some stuff here. So one thing, actually, you know what? This sweatshirt is killing me. It's a little too warm. All right. So one of the things that we did last night is I put the wrong piece up here. And the one thing you may notice, I don't know if the camera can pick it up very well or not, but if you look at this rod here, it looks like it's being pushed inward, whereas this one is nice and straight. What happens is there is a piece, and somewhere here I have a mouse where I can change angles here. So I thought this was the piece to use. This is where it attaches to the stepper motor, and this is where the top of the Z-rod attaches. The chrome rod up top. Turns out that I was incorrect. Turns out this was included in the packaging for the modified Z-screw. And that explains a lot, because if you look at the overlap, this versus this makes a big difference as to how that's going to set in there. So one of the first things we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to go in here and remove the old one. And let me go back to, I just got to remember my click. Here we go. So what I got to do is on this side, which is the one that needs to be altered, I need to remove that. I need to undo the coupler and basically get that piece out and get the correct one in. Shouldn't be terrible. All right, and then I just heard a great big crash and thud upstairs, so I have to investigate that real quick, so I'll be right back. Okay. I am back. I apologize for taking a break. I heard a great big thud upstairs. And let me put my chapeau back on, otherwise you're just going to be getting a giant glare from the top of my head. My cats are on fire tonight. They are bouncing all over the place. I've been gone all day, so they slept all day. And they are having a grand old time up there. So expect to hear more thuds and booms. There was one more thing I wanted to do before we got too far into this. And... okay. Oh, I just got a response from someone. Good, good. Which one was it? There. All right. So I got mice everywhere here. Let's see. And that goes to this one. And that goes to this one. There we go. So that's the beauty of doing a live stream here with multiple cameras. So far so good. This is sliding around the way it's supposed to. We got to make some changes here to, as I mentioned on this side, this thing is going to be a very large printer. The print volume, if you're curious, hello Jeff, it's 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters by 400 millimeters, so that would be the print volume of what it can print. And if you're savvy with 3D printers, that's pretty much the identical volume that the CR10, the CR10S, the TiVo Tornado, TiVo Flat, you name it. So there's a whole bunch of that going around. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy turned around so it's facing me. Oh, goody, goody, goody. And we're going to get camera number 2 here. So as you can see, once I turn that camera on, because I'm just so coordinated here. All right, so that's what's going on right here. So we have the, this is the, what we call the Z-screw. This is the coupler that goes from the Z-screw to the shaft of the motor. And then we have this piece here, and then I have this chrome rod. And what I have to do is I need to make sure that, see right here I have that clear piece, which is wrong. And as you can see, I got these great big bright studio lights back here. So what I got to do is I got to pull that piece out, I got to pull this out and do a quick changeover. And without making everyone sick here from doing it, here we go. So there, I hope I'm providing everyone some fun entertainment here on a wild Saturday night. That's me. I could make a block that big, that's right. Yeah, I have other printers that can do the same thing as well. Oops, sorry. All right, so first thing we gotta do is I have to undo this coupler here, and I apologize for the camera being in the not ideal position here. All right, apparently I kind of cranked on that. Ta-da, that one's out. There we go. All right, so that's one of the couple of pieces out. It's not my favorite design. They tend to, if they get mismatched, they tend to pull out and they look like Slinky. And if you're not from the, if you were born after the 80s, I'm sorry, I won't explain what a Slinky is for you. Let's see. So we have to get these guys out of here. And while I'm doing that, and you guys can't see what I'm doing, let me go ahead and plug my channel and say, hey, welcome to Where Nerdy is Cool. This has been my little YouTube channel for almost a year now. We got about 1,700 and some odd subscribers. That's awesome. I also have a presence on Facebook, Where Nerdy is Cool, and also on Instagram, Where Nerdy is Cool as well. I know, original, right? So if you're not already liking those pages, you definitely need to. All right. And then, where is the third? There you are, right there. Okay, this is going to come out with a great big pop with my luck. Nope. All right. Yeah. Okay, so stepper motor and the hardware are out. And now what we have to do is put the correct part in there. Exactly. Yeah, if you wanted to do the full capacity of what the printer could do, not only would it be printing for a long time, but it would be huge. And just to introduce people, if Jeff is still observing, Jeff is a very, very talented photographer friend of mine. He has been very helpful at a couple of the R2 events that I have done, we've done for charity. And Jeff has a penchant for always wearing bow ties. And he certainly makes them look good. He's a sharp dressed guy. How about that for a plug, Jeff? All right, so now what we got to do, got to get this guy in here. Now it doesn't indicate which way, but whatever. What I discovered yesterday was because of the way this has been laser cut, there's a lot of residue still inside of there. So getting that to fit sucks. Oh, come on. Alright, I promised I would not use colorful metaphors to describe any frustrations, but son of a bitch, that's tight. So I'm going to use the Mark 1. There it is. It's probably not the recommended step in the guide, but son of a bitch, it's going in there. Good. Alright. So now that's going in straight. A lot of innuendo comments can be made. All right. I know, Paul. It's a G-rated channel. It'll be good. All right. So let's get the first one of these pieces in there. Okay, good. Once we can start one in there, then it goes well. I suspect. I try to keep these live streams to about 2 hours. I want them to be in segments so that if other people wish to purchase one of these kits and put it together, they can scroll through these videos, skip through the important parts, and maybe this will help them get theirs together. Plus all my witty commentary for free. All right. The ones that are furthest back there are a whole lot of fun to spin in. I say with sarcasm. All right, you. You know, I'm going to put the other, I'm going to leave you guys out a half turn here. That might make the other ones that are fighting me a little easier to get in there. Let's see. That was a little too... Yeehaw. Alright. Alright, we're slowly making progress on this part. Have I missed anything? Nope, good. Oh, I know why. I just set it up incorrectly. That's why I can't see what's going on. There we are. Oops. Alright, sorry about that. I had to play technician real quick on my own stuff. So the only thing that's bad about this is there's a couple of spots here where it's tough to get a Allen wrench or a hex key in there really well. Alright. And then, of course, I'm trying to find... Oh, you were there for a brief moment. Doobie doobie doo. Alright, so the back ones are definitely a whole lot more work to get just right. So I'm going to loosen these guys up a little bit. Well, this is fighting me every step of the way. So what I'm going to do, since the front ones are much easier to access, I'm going to remove those right now. Because I went through this battle last night, trolling for dollars. Hello! Alright. Trolling, just so you're aware, last night I installed the incorrect mounts for the top of the Z-rod. Not screw, but the actual rod. And now that I got the right stuff in there, it's working a whole lot better. There's always that one stepper motor that is a challenge. Well, let me remove that altogether. All right, that's just what I was looking for. That's going to work out perfect. Once I get a few it's agronomics 101 here for this particular part. I'm not gonna, it's because I got a bit of a twist here. So the secret, I would say, to those who are following in my footsteps is try to get 2 of the screws in there first. I'm sorry. I haven't skipped ahead in the directions to see what's going on the bottom of these Z-screws, and I do not know. That's what I have been wondering as well too, is do these just kind of dangle free, or what's up? And so far I think they may just hang loose like that, but we shall see. Alright, this is going on a lot better. And then I just got to put the Z-coupler. Come on. Nice. Because of the way that this goes on, and because this is buried in here, It's a very frustrating location. I would have liked it if the stepper could have been mounted to the corner bracket first. I am having a devil of a time though getting that guy to play nice. So let me see if I can. See, the problem is I just don't have a lot of room. The good news is this is moving pretty well. It's just that the other side definitely went together a whole lot quicker. Alright, are you all the way up there? Just about. Alright, yay. It's weird how just that one side was being a colorful metaphor. Alright. So what we got is this guy is in and mounted. Problem is getting that rear screw up in here. It's just that everything's in the way. Yeah, you know, you mentioned a good point when you talk about those couplers, because that was one of the very first things I noticed, is that they're already looking a little bit pulled out a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see. Someone had asked me a question about a couple of the tweaks I want to make to this, and I'm trying really hard to be religious to the documentation. I really want to build this the way that the instructions say. So that's what I'm going to do this time, because in my mind there's a bunch of things that I would like to change already. That hot end for starters, that is just too huge in my mind. The other thing I'd like to do is I would definitely like to do a Bowden system, because I don't like all this weight sitting up here. Alright, let's get you all the way in there. There we go. Okay, so he says to all the way up, and then back it off a few millimeters, which I'm going to assume is like right here. Okay, there are 2 set screws on that, so now with any luck, this is rolling pretty nicely. So, yeehaw. So another step done. And skip and repeat on the other side. Alright, so let's look at the destructions here, as I call them. We have this part done. Yeah, we did that. Oh man, really? Belts? Oh, how I hate messing with belts. Alright, so we have to wrap them around and secure them in the back. Alright, so I have to flip the printer back around. So, and we have belts and belts. We have one long continuous piece of material. Awesome. Okay, well, I will confess that this is not my favorite step, so let's go ahead and look at the directions together here and see what they suggest. So secure one end of the belt into the 2 slots on the back of the carriage. Alright, so on the back of the carriage, alright, good. So let me just give you a picture here. So the back of this thing does have these little teeth here. So that's decent. So that's going to be how it goes. So it's just a matter of which side do we do first. Let's see what the instructions say about that real quick. Okay, secure one end of the belt into the 2 slots in the back of the carriage. I wish there was a bit more of a close-up of the back of that carriage, how they have them set in. Okay, I see. Okay, I was thinking maybe it looped around. Okay, then cut off the excess. So, gotcha. Is it the end of the world? No. Is it fun? No. So let's see if I can get a camera over here. Alright, so let's, alright. So what we're going to do is, I am assuming we're just going to press this fella in. Okay. And now I have 100 yards of belt here. Holy crap, look at it all. Alright, now to find the end of this. Alright. Run you through this side. Doesn't pull the whole damn thing through. Alright, and then trying to make sure we don't pull any kinks in this thing. Yeah, part of me says I should have just taken a chance and clipped it, but nope. All right. Now the real madness begins, trying to get this out to the other side. Doobie-doobie-doo. Let's see how much crap this tries to loop in. Alright, let's check and make sure. Yep. Alright. Hey, Peo. Well, I don't have any good news to report, unfortunately. They did send me some parts. They sent me a 3D Touch and a Wi-Fi, which I am hearing from other people does not even work with that model printer. So the stuff they have sent me, I don't understand why they sent it, because the problem is with the main board. So to answer your question in complete and sincere honesty and no sarcasm, no, we're still having troubles. All right, so trying to make sure that I am. There we go. I am in a groove here. All right. So what I'm trying to do is make this super tight and press this in. But what I'm going to do first, and I know that needs to be tighter, but I'm tired of working with 100 feet of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip this off right here. All right, and that can go away until we do the y-axis. All right, I'm sure there's some great ways of doing this, but boy, I am just noticing that this likes to curve here. But it looks like, I'm looking at the picture here just to be sure here. And I'm looking there, so this is just going to kind of dangle free under here. And it looks like what I've done, so let me give you guys the external view here. It looks pretty. See, I don't like that. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that what's going over here, we obviously want to make sure it's tight enough. So I think what's happening is that as I remove this, I should be able to advance a tooth or two with the rubber belt. And you know what? You just read my mind. I'm curious how far these things are going to stretch. So let's pop this guy out. Let's so what I'm trying to do is see, what makes it a little bit tough too is there is no way to tighten this or make this tighter, just because this is bolted into place, and obviously this is bolted into place. So you kind of gotta get it right from the get-go. Alright, and I got a little bit of excess on this belt here again. I don't want it to make contact with the other part, so let's shorten you a bit more. Well, well, that's interesting. So let me show you what I'm looking at here. So you know, it's not terrible. It's good and tight right here. And that's looking all right. So I might be fussing over nothing. I think that it's interesting because these friction holders. Hi, Ben. So I think we're going to be okay. My concern was I wanted to make sure that because I can't adjust this once it's, just wanted to make sure that if this could go over an additional cog, that might make it a little bit tighter, and I was able to do that. So I think we're going to be okay. But the nice thing is that at least with this being friction held, if I do want to adjust it, it's not going to be terrible because obviously the hot end is already here. There's nothing in the way in the back, so I think maybe we'll be okay. I'm just being my usual fussy self. All right, quick break. How do you guys like the cup? FolgerTech. They sent me all kinds of bling. Okay, we got the remains of that. Let me make sure my phone is off. Yep, check out the message I got. All right, so yeah, that's a good question as far as making it adjustable. I haven't seen a lot of stuff out there on Thingiverse for the FT-i3 Mega. I did see where there were a couple nice add-ons as far as how to tuck some of the wiring in, but no, that's a good question, Caleb. I do not know. I am going at this step by step, following the directions, and kind of curious to see where they're going to lead me. So, speaking of directions, now that we have the belt in there, let's turn our Bibles to page 26 and see where that brings us. Okay, so this looks like this is the belt, the base plate, And it looks like that's going to be the attachment for the belts on the y-axis. All right, so let me get those parts and pieces here real quick. You know, it's funny, when I first saw this, I thought, well, this must be the leftover from the laser cutting. And then it turns out, no, this is actually a functional piece. So let's, well, I have the opportunity, clean it off one last time. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the printer, skeleton anyway, onto the floor for a second. Let's get this guy up here. Hello, Matt Johnson. Good evening. Oh yeah, I suppose I should take a break real quick. So what I was telling my friends earlier is that, first of all, welcome. If this is your first time seeing one of my live streams, hello. Okay, and I just want to make sure I have that properly lined up. Good. If you are not already a subscriber to my channel, please hit subscribe and become one. I would love to have over 2,000 subscribers, and we're at about 1,700 and some change, I think. So we're definitely getting there. 1786. How about that? That's really cool. I mean, I started out with nothing not too long ago. Okay, so the way this guy is going to go in is I was checking the, well, that camera is just not having a good night. All right, I got belts. Now we need an M3 by 20 millimeter. We should have one of those quite handy. I need a square nut, because what's going to happen is this is going to go into here, and then from below the nut will go in and capture that. So anyway, before I saw something shiny there and lost my train of thought, welcome aboard. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one. I'd love to have you. And like everyone else on YouTube, I have a Patreon page and I have a PayPal page. So if you wish to contribute to the cause, patreon.com/where nerdy is cool. Oh, you know what? I can't talk and balance at the same time. I should probably hold that in there with some tape or something, but I'm trying to show off with you guys. I'm trying to show off how I can multitask and do this. I'm not sure I'm giving a very convincing performance, but I'm trying. All right, so I think that's going to capture. Okay, I know that it capture, but it also pinched the hell out of my finger. Okay. So, voila. There it is. So last night I was joking that one thing I noticed in playing back the video is that I use the term all right a lot. So I'm trying very hard not to use that expression tonight. Okay, so we have done this one step. Let me look at the instructions to make sure I have it correct. Yep, those two vertical arrows over there. This is right here. Either extra hole. Got it. Okay, and then the next page. Oh wow, this looks like a very busy section of the assembly. Okay, so we need to get the printer back up on the table, and it looks like, take your time on this step, it can be very fiddly. Oh, joy. Start on the left side, the bed, loosely mounting FM11 to the SC, blah, blah, blah. Okay, So essentially we're going to start mounting things to this gantry, and we're stacking up some of these pieces for spacing. Matthew McConaughey? Do I sound like Matthew McConaughey? I don't think so. I had someone tell me last week on my Facebook page that with my beard I resemble Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Handful of my friends said, yep, I see it. And a couple of my other friends who love me dearly said, no, Paul, not at all. So. Oh, does he really? Okay. I do like him as an actor. I loved him in Interstellar. All right, so let's get this printer back on the desk. Okay, and I'm moving things over so that everything will fit without making a ginormous mess. All right. Damn it, I just did it. And you guys are supposed to set me straight. All right, let's not lose this. All right, well, one thing we have to do is we have to make sure that this is in the down position. Okay, this is starting to make a little bit of sense. I'll have to check your link out in a little bit here. Okay, so what we got to do is, and as you recall from the instructions here, and so this is what we got going on. So right now we got to get these 3 pieces of spacers here to line up on top of these bearings, and then the same story over here. And I understand why now, because this piece that we just installed on the very bottom, if it's not up in the air, it's gonna drag. So that makes sense. And something Caleb mentioned, or maybe someone else did too, I'm not seeing where they're doing anything with that Z-screw just hanging there. And I think you're right. I think it's just being supported by the coupler. Interesting. All right. Damn it, I just did it again. Caleb, come on, keep me straight here. I need a new expression. I need a new euphemism. I can't just say okay all the time. The pieces, right here we have the, these are the 3 for this side. And then we have 3 of each over here. Then we get to go ahead and try to make all of this stuff work. M4 by 30 millimeter. Where are you? Here they are. Let's start with one side and see what kind of a crap show this turns into. And as they said, this is going to be very fiddly. That said, we definitely can't tighten anything down, otherwise the other side will not come across at all. What if I put you on your side? So one. If you ever wanted a vision test, this is it. one side. Way that way. The hard part is getting that first one on. Once you get that first one on there, then it kind of sets the pattern of what you're trying to do. Let's bounce that guy over a little bit. Of course not. Aha. Again, I am just doing like 2 turns, just enough for this thing to bite in. Otherwise, I'll never get the other guys in. Okay, feeling pretty proud of myself on that first one. Let's see if I can continue my momentum here. Oh, hell no. I can feel you toothing in that good. Let's change the camera angle here so you guys can see all the fiddly fun I'm having over here, because that's how he described it, and I'd say that's accurate. So these guys are just barely in there, and we're all teethed in. Hip hip hooray. Oops, I hit the keyboard here, so things happened. TiVo Tornado for Christmas? Well, if I can't say anything nice, I won't say anything at all. I can just say that the TiVo hasn't been a good experience for me. I hope it's better for you. So, this is in. I don't have it, obviously there's a long way to go if I want to bolt it in there. Now the one thing I'm noticing by looking at the directions here, and let's take a peek together, this one over here has washers. And the reason for that is that these are going into grooves, whereas these are going straight into holes. Okay, so we have to do the same thing. TiVo got a lot of flack on the Tornado release, and hopefully they've listened to their viewers. The one, not to get too sidetracked here, the one problem I had on my TiVo Tornado that frustrated me the worst was, first of all, the bed surface was terrible. That's the first thing I peeled off. Let me go back to my view here since I was speaking to you. So that wasn't a lot of fun. Matter of fact, I still have the extra one that came with it that I will never use. With all the print beds that I have, you know, they screw directly in to the bottom, and when you turn the bed knob, you know, the bed goes up or down accordingly. The problem with the TiVo is that the screw for that is not. It's very well. How do I describe it? If you go to turn the bed knob, the screw turns. Literally, the screw turns, so nothing goes up or down. So very frustrating. So hopefully the next generation, as you're pointing out here, will treat you much better than mine treated me. Oh, I did it again. All right. So what we need to do is we need to locate this guy. Oh, actually, that's not going to be, well, I say not too bad, but now I got to stack this on top of it. This called for M4x30s. Yep, we have those. And washers. You know what, gentlemen? This is starting to look just like a 3D printer. Okay, just M4 washers. Yeah. Although I'll give the, you know, maybe it's a look thing. I know the latest version of the TiVo Tornado isn't green, it's that gold, rose gold or whatever. It looks pretty cool. But I can tell you my TiVo literally only has about 3 prints on it. It just frustrated me that much. It's kind of like the, you know, the problems I'm having with the G-Tech. Yeah, you know what, I tried doing a, I tried putting a lock washer in there and it was still spinning. I've heard some others talk about glue. I guess my frustration is that they're in such a hurry to get these printers out the door, they're not doing any testing. Someone needs to take that TiVo out of my hands. Certainly not the worst idea that's been brought up. I am a, my background is in customer service, as I mentioned in my video. So for years you know, as a software support guy, and then for computers, break fix, doing all that. And I've also been a commission salesperson selling, you know, appliances, and I just have a real problem with, it's one thing if it's a design issue and they don't catch it till late, but it's one thing when you see problems and it's like, didn't anybody in the factory play with one of these for half an hour and go, you know, that might be a problem? Those are the kind of gotchas that annoy the hell out of me. When it just looks like they were in such a hurry to get it out the door, they just didn't give a damn. And unfortunately, the way the world is right now, everyone is panting hot and heavy for the next $300 printer, and you know, if you're one of those people that believes in quality control, they're like, but you know, a lot of us can install upgrades and make it work the way we want it to work, but I always think about the first time customer. You know, you want these people that are just getting into 3D printing, you want them to have a good experience. And that's, I guess that's the angle I'm coming from. Yeah, Sears. Sears is no more. Which is too bad. I did enjoy my time at Sears. The only thing that drove me crazy was a couple things. Sears just never invested in their stores. They were all about cutting costs as low as possible, paying the commission, you know, because the sales guys were all commission. You know, if you didn't sell, you had a drawer and you had to pay back. I really wish I had a Torx wrench for some of this, but okay, I'm tightening down this side. I'm sure I'm going to regret it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to undo this a little bit because this one has sliders. So if this has to slide around, I have some room for forgiveness. Okay. I've heard good things about the Ender. The only thing that kept me away from the Ender is the board. Just the fact that, you know, it was going to be a big challenge to upgrade that particular printer. think Chep over to Filament Friday had mentioned as much. I wonder. Printer bot. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay, so this is turning out to be a little bit challenging on this side. At 169 bucks, how much you can complain? Well, if it works out of the box, great. The problem I have with the $199 printer I have is it's just out of the box, it's crap. And then, you know, the knob, you got to do like 100 turns. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it sucks to get anywhere on that thing. It just doesn't have very good quality control. How do I never swear? Well, I've done full-size R2s. I know all about those. Go figure on this channel. Well, I don't know what that comment's supposed to mean, but whatever. No, the G-Tech was a disappointment. Like I said, right out of the box, I was looking forward to just slapping it together and print. But I mean, that first print was, you had that Z, whatever it is, going on over there. Okay, you gave me what I wanted. Haha. Okay, good. You slid down. You gave me what I wanted. What we're doing is we're backing these up a little bit here just to Oh, Da Vinci, yeah. My first printer was an Ultimaker original, and what a hoot that was to put together. They really did a great job with the documentation. Aha. This thing is so close. So Matt, I'm curious about your comment about Go Figure on this channel. What is your grief? Because I do not agree with you that the G-Tech is the best thing ever. I mean, really, is that it? That's you're upset because I don't think a $200 printer that can't even update its firmware is anything less than stellar? mean, I don't mind people disagreeing with me, but I think if you received a printer like that and it just failed out of the box, you'd be ticked off too. Especially when everyone in that Facebook group is largely, you know, had good experiences, and I'm like, I want to have that too. Well, this step had such potential, and then it bound up. I thought it was going too good to be true. Okay, well, one of these, I think you might be bound right in here. I think I gotta set screw this off. Okay, Matt, gotcha. I've had a lot of criticism over the my comments over the G-Tech, so that's all. Not being defensive, just want to make sure that if people disagree with me, you have an opportunity to give your point of view. Oh, this one's almost in. Come on. Well, they said fiddly. So what's going on here is one of these screws is slightly out. Yes, where's the hammer? Exactly. My CR10 experience, interestingly enough, I'll share that with you. The first CR10 I bought that directly from GearBest, and it took forever to get here because, like everyone else trying to get one, it was the printer to have. It was the latest one. And when it finally showed up, it had been beat to snot, to say it nicely. When I opened it out of the box, the print head was dangling on the rail. So I was like, oh, this is good. All right, you little SOB, why aren't you behaving as nicely as the other one? Oh, I really want to use some colorful metaphors. So anyway, the CR10, the original that showed up, yeah, the print head was all banged and scratched up. What had happened was the cables that plug into the back of the control box, they hadn't been secured, so they just swung around and shipping. So when I opened up the box, the whole print head was all banged up, all scratched up, and it was very loose on the rail, so I didn't have high hopes. But based on what I had read on the Facebook group, others had had a similar experience, and they said, no, that's not a problem. No, you'll be okay. And so I took their word for it. All right, I'm going to take two of these out to see if I can't cure what ails this. And that one has printed really, really good. I did a lot of R2 prints and BB8 prints. Aha. And it's been a very good printer. The only issue I had with it was the couplers, because it's the same as these that came with this printer. And what was happening is they were stretching out. And of course, it's a single Z. So the best I could figure is it just wasn't set up right, or something along those lines anyway. So that CR10 has been great. Matter of fact, it's sitting over here and it has a stack of parts on it because that's the one that I put the ZYL Tech box frame on it. I did, actually, all of the BB8 heads you're seeing back here behind me were printed using that printer. So it's definitely passed my stringent testing. And the only reason I'm not printing with it right now is, like I said, I have the I bought the CR10S electronics for it, so I have to update the electronics. I bought the dual Z for it, so I have an additional Z screw to install on it. I have Capricorn tubing. I have a micro Swiss printhead for it. I also have, God, how many do I have now? I got 4 E3D V6 hot ends. Haven't decided if I'm going to use that or not. Favorite prints? Which printer? The CR10 or this? The CR10 has done all these beautiful BB-8 domes you're seeing behind you. I almost, you know, I almost did that. I was looking very closely at, gee, should I just put one of the drivers on here and just, you know, ram away at this? But I thought, nah, better not, because I might strip something. That's the wrong size. Doing it with an Allen wrench is not a whole lot of fun. Oh, I just saw that recently. What did I do with it? All the ones I have are either too big or too small. I think you're too big. Yep. Way too big. Well, nuts. Yeah, I don't know what I did with it. It's the only one that's missing too, go figure. Unless... so many toys in here. Oh, there's all my 608 bearings. All right, good. Good to know. Yeah, there's a lot of printers out there. I do have a mini electric screwdriver, I just don't have the right bit. Well, let me correct that. I have the right bit somewhere. Alright, so what's weird here is I'm only getting so many, trying to get these to be flush, and it's not quite happening. It seems like I get so far and that just stops. I don't know why that is. Alright, why is this not going all the way in? Oh, because, Paul, you're a big dumb animal. You put the wrong size screws in there. Ha ha ha. I was just looking at that going, boy, did I misread that? So what I've done is I put 40s when I should have put 30s. Oops. That'll make a hell of a difference. Yes. All right. Oh, don't tell me I got a screw that's not gonna... Yeah, because it's a cheapie. That one might be stripped. Awesome sauce. Yeah, so one of these screws, you're probably gonna have to grab with the pliers and reef on it. Well, hello, Ben. Well, Ben, I've managed to misread the instructions and try to force the wrong screw in the wrong hole, so I'm sure it's going to bite me in the ass trying to get that out of there. Clamp pliers, yeah, exactly right, you all. And, all right. It's good to have these big giant clamps just in case. And that screw we hope we never have to need again. We'll set that aside. Oh, the easy out, is that the filament detection? See, you guys all like that stuff. I'm, how do I say it nicely? I'm just not sold on all that filament run out stuff. I just think that leads to more problems than it solves. I've never been able to pull one filament out and put another one in successfully. I guess that's my, I guess I'll call that my bias. Oh, that missing screw, yeah. Oh, easy out. Sorry, I was thinking that was one of TH3D's products. My apologies, I misread that. Holy cow, let me stop and have a little blast of sugar here. Num num. All right. I stand corrected. I learned something tonight. Hey, if you guys are just tuning in, hello. My name is Paul. This is my channel where nerdy is cool. I'm big into 3D printing, obviously. And of course, in the background, you can see my BB-8 stuff. I've also got off-screen, I got my Dark Knight Batman suit. I also got my Stormtrooper suit over here behind me. I got leftover pieces of my second R2-D2, the aluminum build, kicking around. So if you are not already a subscriber to my channel, please become one. Hit the button. Do it, do it, do it. I double dare you. And if you're into supporting stuff, damn it, this thing lifted on me. Come on, guys. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/where nerdy is cool. And I believe somewhere on this feed here, there's a little link there. If you want to make a donation, you can do so. And if you do so, thank you in advance. Okay. So these are going in fairly well. Now that I have the right screws. So the one thing I'm looking at here is we're using these cap head screws. So I'm thinking, well, how does the bed lay flat on here? But I guess we'll worry about that later. Yes, this is quite the aluminum build here. This is from FolgerTech. Actually, you know what? A couple things. I wanted to share the link. Oh yeah, the other one too. If you guys are big into, obviously, 3D printing, I also have a web form. Let me give you the link for that. I've had that going for about 3 years now. I'll tell you the story of that here shortly. And the printer we're building, to give you some more information about the FolgerTech printer here. Dun, dun, dun. Let me go to the page real quick. And share that with you guys. This is what we're building right here. So if you want to look at the specs, heck, if you want, you can look at the directions. There's a Google document that is linked out right from the sales page. Okay, those guys look good. On with these guys. I would be really happy if that would, see, these guys are doing it to me again. They were laying nice and flat, but now they're not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift all these guys up a little bit, see if we can't. All right, yeah. Aha! They laid flat. Hee-haw. Exactly right. Exactly right. That's what I just did. I backed them all off and I gotta tell you, of all the steps here, I didn't think this one would take the longest. But as advertised, they said it was going to be very fiddly, and my God, they yeah, I was doing star patterns. All right, and this one was the one that was fighting me last time. Why aren't you? There you go, now you get threading. All right. Oh, that's convenient, thanks. And then we'll swap those guys out, and we should be off to the races. I think the step after this one is going to be the belt. All right. Okay, now let's put all these 40mm screws where they belong. But someone had asked earlier about my experience with the CR10. I had started to speak about that. So the CR10 has been an excellent, excellent printer. And then I decided to go with the CR10S. And for that, I went to Matt over to Printed Solid. Now I could have paid a lot less and gone to GearBest again. But the difference is Printed Solid, what they do is they would receive them, inspect them. Him and Dave are very big in the firmware stuff, and they had noticed that a lot of the CR10s that they were looking at didn't have any kind of thermal runaway protection. So they went through and updated the firmware. They also were aware there was a problem with a resistor A lot of people would get wandering temperatures while the printer wasn't even printing. So I paid a little bit extra. I want to say I paid $6.25, and I bought mine from them. And when it showed up, it was fabulous. It had they had a whole check sheet of all the things they had done before I received the printer. They had changed out the couplers. They put the better ones on there. I mean, things that I probably could have done on my own, but I gotta tell you, there are some times where this is a kit. I know exactly it's gonna take a long time to get a kit together. But what they did is they made that very easy for me, because that thing was ready to go within half an hour just to print. They had already advised me on what profile to use on Simplify 3D and Cura. I'm doing corner to corner. Okay, there's that one. That one's in. So both CR10s have been great. The CR10S was recently, I had been printing PETG on it, and I think I had a partial clog, because the last couple of PETG prints I was doing on it didn't come out really great. It looked like I had some sort of under extrusion going on. And I wasn't convinced I had the material really well dialed in either. So I thought maybe that was part of it. But when I removed the PETG and I tried to do a PLA print, it was pretty obvious that I either had a partial clog or something going on in there. And I just decided, you know what, I got a stack of parts here sitting here. I got the solid mounts that should replace the bed springs. So I think I'm just going to remove all that stuff. And that's what I did. All I wanted to do was print out something in PLA, and it turned into a 3-hour evening of, okay, let's remove the hot end. So that's now micro Swiss. Let's remove the tubing. Let's make that Capricorn tubing. And so that was all gone. And the next step, I still have a Hick top extruder for it. And that's like a 10-minute job there too. So I just have to do that as well. Okay. Okay, so that noise you're hearing is because we haven't clamped down the Y-axis yet. So that's why you're hearing these chrome rods when I move this back and forth. But the good news is it does seem smooth. So yeah, the CR10s, I'm not crazy about Creality, but I gotta say their printers have been pretty great. Yeah, you know, Matt, you were the, I'm trying to remember here who I've been talking to. I think, is Matt, are you the one that's getting the TiVo? Because the CRX, I do like how the electronics, because that electronic box is a pain in the ass. I do have lithium spray. I use that in my R2D2 in the dome. I use the rockler bearing, kind of like a Lazy Susan. So I do have some grease I can put on this when we are ready to get to that step. All right. Well, I'm awful glad I didn't use the driver or power screwdriver to force those screws in there, and only to discover that, wrong one. Bob's getting the TiVo, okay. Okay. Let's look at the next step here. All right. Oh, I did it again. Sorry, Matthew McConaughey. I said all right, my bad. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna run upstairs real quick, grab my water bottle, get rid of this. back with a great big giant tankard of water. Well, this looks fun. What's this step? What fresh slice of hell is this going to be? Okay, quality assurance is it? Yeah, that's, as mentioned earlier, that's my frustration, is that we as the consumer of 3D printers have just come to accept that if we get something for $200, $300, $400, $500, and even if it doesn't work properly, the general consensus is, it's not that big a deal to fix, upgrade, change. And I kind of think that's unfortunate in some regards, because we shouldn't expect to have to upgrade these printers to make them work properly. I know, Bob, I'm completely out. I'm sorry, Ben, rather. Yeah, I don't have any Frosty Foamy. I should have picked some up on the way home, but I forgot. And plus, the water is more keto friendly towards my diet. So, that said, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big customer service guy. If I sold you guys a piece of hardware or software, I would want to make sure that if you guys had issues, that your issues were taken seriously and worked on and resolved, and you'd have follow-up. As customers to these Chinese printers, they are mass producing as cheaply and quickly as possible. Printers are varying quality. Some people get good ones, some people get bad ones, and unfortunately, as I've seen on G-Tech, if you dare say you've had a problem, the fanboys come out of the woodworks that just, how dare you? The piece we need here is that one. Actually, I'm not that very far away. I know when I used to, when I was going to flight school in Massachusetts, you could only get booze from the package stores. Whereas, I don't know how it is for other states, but I know, I go to my local gas station and I can grab a six-pack. It's not that big a deal. Of course, you can't get it after 1 a.m. Because we still have the blue laws. So this is going to be for the bed assembly. So what we're looking at is, where's the connector? Okay, so it's going to be to the rear. Let's get this camera right here. Okay, I'm looking at how they get this all laid out. Well, let's do the easy crap first. Naomi is an interesting character. I am fascinated that a girl whose chest barely stays inside whatever garment she's wearing has become the spokesperson for 3D printing in China, a country that is notoriously tough on any kind of, shall we say, pornography. So I just find that a little ironic. She's a beautiful young woman, very smart young woman, but holy cow, I don't think I would be able to make eye contact with her. Oh yeah, you guys can groan and say what a jerk I am. Like I'm the only one that noticed them, huh? Well, and that's, I wondered that, Ben. When you dress and look like a Las Vegas resort worker, it's kind of hard to take her seriously as the voice of a movement, The parts so far have been great. The laser cut ACM, aluminum composite material, has been quite good. The instructions are awesome. They've done a really good job with the instructions. So no real grievance there. Here we go. I have been missing, again, this was an early release kit. So there was a step or two where I needed a couple 18mm screws. I needed 8, I only had 4. It happened to be that 20mm would fit. So that's my only grief so far. And we've been going through this together. And so far, it's been a pretty good time. Looking at the instructions one more time. So M3 by 10mm. Okay, I just had one of those out. And I need a washer and a split washer or slash lock washer. Okay. Oh, the actual build plate is a heated build plate. I got it over here in the stack of stuff. So we'll definitely get to it. It's going to be 300 by 300 by 400 tall. But my review of his FT5 wasn't the nicest review. I tried to be very gentlemanly about it because, you know, hey, I'm a customer and here's what I thought. I didn't like the melamine material at all. And nor did he, it turns out. So they switched over to this aluminum composite material. So I've got a lot of respect for the guy. He, you know, some companies would just say whatever and move on, but no, he was very responsive to any critiques I had to say. I'm not crazy about sorting out all the hardware before doing the build, because all these little pieces, the screws and nuts, what have you, come in giant bags, so you got to kind of sort them all out. Not my favorite part of the process, but frankly, we've been through worse. I'm digging around here trying to find washers while answering your questions. Rather, I found the washers, I just don't have enough fingernail to grab them. There we go. And the guy's a fellow New Englander, so, you know. Okay. Hi, Brian. The problem with the bowing rods was that I was using the wrong piece. This was what I was using, the correct one. This top piece goes out about an extra, I don't know, about a 1/4 inch. So that's why it was being pulled inward. I had the wrong piece. So that was a goof on my part. Us Yankees have to stick together. Somewhat, sure. All right, so if I recall, I have to, let's see, what did my shop teacher tell me? Lock washer goes on top of the washer. Because we want that. Yeah, the only problem with the simple fix is it took a lot of simple getting in there. It's like, how the heck? Okay, I'm just going to give this a turn or two, because I have no idea how far that's going to have to go left or right to space it. So mount the stepper to the right end of the slots with the plug to the rear, which is over here. Using M14mm, M3 washers and split washers. Mount pulley to shaft will be adjusted later and loosely mount to, okay. So the key here is everything's going on loosely. How did you wind up in Texas, Ben? Well, unfortunately, Caleb, I do not have a wife. I had a girlfriend for a year, but unfortunately, that ended. Apparently, she missed her ex-boyfriend. And unfortunately, that was discovered. So that is done. But hey, there is hope in the future. I'm sure Britney Spears is just dying to meet this little YouTube personality. Maybe she'll shave her head to match mine. All right, and then one more lock washer. It's a very long story. Guys, Ben over here is an IT guy, or has been an IT guy for years, and now he is a judge. I think someday I will need to either travel to Texas or do a hangout with him. No, I'd rather travel to Texas because it's winter here in Maine. But, you know, Ben, it sounds like an engaging story, and it sounds like a good enough reason for me to leave Maine to come hang out with you and learn your story. Because that just sounds amazing to me. Oh, let's see. So this is on. Everything is on kind of loosey-goosey. Let me just make sure that truly is loose here. Okay, that can slide around. A lame duck judge. You were taking part in libations? Well, we got the bed on. Now we're working on the, it looks like this is more of the bed assembly. This is the, let me go ahead and share where we're at. For those of you scoring from home, we're currently still working on the bed assembly. And I am assuming, based on the location, that this is probably going to sit on top of one of our 2020 rails. Okay, 22 5mm bore pulley. Well, I seem to have one sitting right here. Let's make sure that the set screws, okay. And then last time we had to put it up upside down, but no, it looks like this is good. Mount will be adjusted later. Okay, so we're not going to go crazy, so we'll just wow, that's a pretty fine thread. Oh no! So you will not be back. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. This is a DC bed. There we go. Okay, so this is on. Yep, this is a DC. It's a 12-volt system. Okay, make sure I got the right Allen wrench handy. Gentlemen, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. This step has been completed. Let's. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the other end of the next belt we'll be putting on. That's interesting. That is interesting. So, son of a bitch, these pieces are sharp on the edge, so that's the only thing I have, only downside I'd say is these edges are pretty stinking sharp. Alright, M5, M5. This one, well, let me see, the FT-i, you know what this might be. I may stand corrected. You are correct. I do stand corrected. This is 24 volt. This is a 24 volt system. Thank you for the correction. I want to say the new FT5 is, or the FT5 version 2 is also. And that's something I would like to build again. I would like to get hold of another one of those kits. That was an interesting build. And with the newer instructions and the 24 volt, I'm sure that it would perform better than my self-upgraded FT5. Well, they're a little bit of each. They have plastic sandwiched in the middle. So it's called aluminum composite material. It's real popular in the sign business because it's very flat. But that's what you got. So I got this fella here. An M5 by 35. Where the devil did I see that? Where's my little measuring doohickey? Right there. Okay, I think that's our idler we're looking for. M5 by 35. Well, I am looking and I am not seeing anything 35 millimeter here. So we might have another boo-boo in the kit. But let's double check. Yeah, it's a 25. Let's go. Let's look. What size are you? You're kind of all by yourself. Yeah, you're 40. Well, this is unfortunate. Well, it's supposed to be an M5 by 35. That's a pretty good size screw. I'm looking around my stack of stuff. Hey, Konar. We are putting together the FolgerTech FT-i3 Mega. And I seem to be missing one of the pieces I need here. Let's see, what's up here? Well, I got some stuff sitting here by itself. I don't know if this is one of them. Oh, good, good, good. Found it, found it, found it. Okay. This is why that measuring gauge comes in so handy. So, let's see. I'm looking at how this is all stacked up on the instructions. So we have the M5 with the idler. Wow, that's quite a stack of stuff. So then we're putting a nylon nut all the way up that. And then two spacers. Where I am going to guess Well, I might have to have that caliper handy just to make sure. Let's go to our external camera here. All right, this is the first part. We gotta work this all the way up. Then we have two of these. Let's make sure they're 4 millimeters because that's what they're calling for, these two 4 millimeter spacers. These are 2.8. Okay. Two 4 millimeter spacers. So I'm looking through my stack of parts here, trying to find a 4 millimeter spacer. Well, obviously they're not getting metal. I'm going through a handful of stuff here trying to find anything that's 4 millimeter, and I'm not finding stuff that's okay. So see, I got like these guys, but they're like 2.85. Those are too narrow. Trying to see if any of these guys look different. Okay, that's I don't know if that's, I'm just kind of looking at these guys, trying to, like, one of these guys has to be 4 millimeter, but they all look alike. Good. All right, Ben. Good to see you. All right. So, are any of these guys, I mean, they're not, these guys all look alike to me. Okay. Mount the M5 idler to the M5. Use the M5 knock. Loosen the airlock. Just looking at the instructions here, and maybe you guys can spot something I didn't. So we're mounting the M5 idler to the M5. Okay, so he's already, so one thing here, they're saying a 25 millimeter bolt, but they're saying the in the diagram the bolt is 35 millimeter. So a typo there, first of all. That's a good catch. Maybe that's what they mean, outer diameter? Because I'm thinking the thickness. Because when it says in the picture M5 by 4 millimeter spacers, I'm thinking, okay. Well, the outer diameter is 7.64. And then when I caliper them, they're 2.83. Well, the inner diameter is 3.9. My goodness. What? What are they referring to? That's interesting. M5 2 by 4 millimeter. Let me check my hardware here. I'm not seeing anything that matches that, but well, let's see. Let's check in the box in case there's anything I didn't see. Wiring. Well, son of a gun, I'm at a loss. Because what I have is all these guys. So, I mean, those will go. But they're definitely not 4 millimeter spacers. You know, they're not 4 millimeter. You think an inner diameter? Well, another email to FolgerTech, I guess. Well, not only that, but I mean, there's really nothing else on the kit that will fit the M5 and that makes any kind of sense. So then this has to go on. Yeah, so the bolts, idler, nylock, and then the spacers. Oh, good catch. Yep, so I should put the nylock on there. Alrighty. You guys are keeping me on my toes. I appreciate that. So nylock goes first. The only thing we have to watch out for with this is obviously this is going to be some sort of pulley mechanism. So we just have to make sure that when we tighten that sucker up, that we give it enough room so that that poor pulley will turn. And of course, this is not going to go for the entire duration because eventually I'm going to run out of room here. Yep, so I've gone as deep as that can go. So now we're into the world of pliers. Yep, we're gonna have to leave a space. What would I give for us having the right end on? Oh, wait a minute, this is an M5, so technically. Ah, thank goodness. Finally something's going right. All right, now as we approach, so now we need to loosen that up by maybe 1/8 of a turn here. Okay, let's just make sure. Yeah. Okay, that's going to rotate good. All right, and then we have our 2 spacers. Then we run under here. And the M5. Every now and then these nylocks are a real SOB to get those guys to turn. Yep. That popped out where I want it. Jeepers creepers, this is a lot of agronomics here. Okay, good, that's threading in there. I don't like the way those spacers are. Okay. That guy is spinny. That's kind of a MacGyver way of doing it. So those 2 are set to go. Now it's a matter of figuring out how these guys are going to mount up. So that said, let's look at the next page here together. Oh, joy. So we have to lay the printer on its back and install both of those. Now, hang on here. If we're laying things on their back, how are we going to make sure these measurements are correct? As far as, you know, obviously they've got to be, you just can't stick them in the middle, you know, you got to measure. So I'm curious what the required measurement is going to be. Let's move some stuff off my table real quick. I'll move the laptop. Rotate the printer on its back. Mount the Y idler from the last step onto the center of the front beam with the idler facing up. But I don't mind laying this thing on its back. My only qualm is making sure that these guys wind up. Let's move these pieces before we change camera angles. Alrighty. So I have a printer on its back, and we're trying to figure out where the center is. And I guess the only golden goose here is we have this to kind of tell us where center is. So we know up top that this is going to be, make sure that's pointed upward yet. I guess the good news is I can visually kind of guide where that is, okay? Maybe this is going to work. Okay, so what I'm doing is using this piece that's sticking out here as a guide. I'm kind of going, yeah, that's middle, sure. And, well, this will work. So I got you to kind of tell me where the center is for the next part. This is one of those sections where it's going in way too easy, and I get the feeling this is gonna kick me in the ass. You mentioned something that just came across my head too. Use the belt. Center, center. So what I could do is bring this up. That looks pretty good. Trying to golly. I don't give you a lot of try to align them with the Y belt tab that you mounted to the bed support earlier. Yeah, exactly, that's what we're trying to do. And this does look like it's a, yeah, that's a little bit, needs to come to the right a little bit. Still a little bit more. Between the belt and the screwdriver, Leave the T-nuts loose until you have the belt on the carriage. Yeah, it's a good idea. Reading what you guys are saying here, right here. All right, rotate the printer on its back, come out of the weather. Okay, so let's look at our, let's use the right mouse. That's a good tip, leaving it loose. Yeah, this is what I dreaded. The world of zip ties. You guys ready to see this? I really liked that friction one. Okay. Good comment. Let me move the external camera here. So this is the fun part that I kind of dread. So right now I have that going around the pulley. I got the teeth interwound. Let's see, let's get a small twist tie here. Does he recommend 2 twist ties? Sure. Oh, this would be so great with an extra set of hands. Okay. There's one. And I never always just screwed a zip tie with it. Yeah, really. I don't really understand the need of 2 of them, but why not? And I will let you, a gentleman, inspect my work. There we go, camera. Well, that seems to be on there quite well. And then this is going to wrap around this. Well. So I'm curious about how I've wrapped these belts around. Because if I go through here and wrap again, I feel like I'm going to be making contact with something. Something doesn't look right. Mouse time. I wish he had a better zoom. I'm wondering if I did the inner loop when I should have done an outer loop kind of thing. Let's take a look together here. Yeah, I'm thinking I should have gone the other way. So okay, so let's look at that again. So look at the chat box here. Teeth on the inside, not on the outside. Yeah, exactly. So what I'm trying to figure out now is what is the best way to do this. Teeth on the inside, not the outside. Good point, Matt. Yes. So what I'm trying to do here, so I have my belt coming down here. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because it looks like well, let's do one thing first real quick. Let's match up to the picture. So the picture shows this thing. Picture seems to show it like this. The idler down there, okay. Trying to get a camera in a good spot for you guys here. So what I'm trying to sort out in my head is I'm looking at that graphic. So if my thinking is correct, it shows this doing this, this wrapping around, Stand by 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to work this out in my little brain here. So before we even go thinking about anything with belts here, I'm just looking at how close that comes. Yeah, belt is huge. I got an idea. So what am I doing wrong? Should my motor mount go over a little bit? It's a long. Well, they just sell you a giant piece of GT, and you're kind of on your own from there. But what I'm looking at here, and I'm trying to get this camera to give a good angle here, is I'm just looking at how that lines up. I'm just wondering if that should slide over a little bit or not. Because it just looks like that's coming awful close. So let's adjust him a little bit. So what I'm looking at here, so I just moved that over a little bit to the right, and I'm looking at how that belt comes down and see how this comes over now. What's your comment here? Let's see. Paperclip. Yeah, that works. Yes, Caleb. I'm just reading through all the comments here. Yeah, I'm looking at the idler here as well. Boy, all this. So if we okay, so we've moved that idler over, so at least now this coming over is doesn't appear to be smacking into this. So that looks like it's the camera's struggling because first of all the studio lights and then how reflective this stuff is. Well, you guys are really chiming in. This is great. Yeah, idler did move over. Yeah, I just did that. Matt, you can always position the idler and more slightly to the right to add between. Yeah, okay, you guys are on the same page. Yep, we were all confused together. Well, my thing here is, so let me just undo this guy here. So I got that. So I think what he's doing is securing the zip tie way further out here so it won't touch what you guys are concerned with. So then the critical one is going to be the second one. FolgerTech escape rooms. So now you can see why they gave me 30 of these. Okay, that might have gone on just right, and then with that touching the top off to the side. Yeah, let me get you back to that picture here. This way we can all be confused together, because that's kind of the way we're doing it. Let's go back to the picture here. Now, it's an optical illusion. Now, take a look right here, okay? Because the belt runs on the inside. So the belt comes over here, and it goes in here, but this piece you're seeing overlapped is on the back side. That's what I've been staring at. I couldn't understand. I was like, how could this belt, you know, go like this and show up on the outside like this? So the teeth are meshing. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? About how it's not the focus on, don't ignore this, but look at where the remainder of the belt is. The remainder of the belt, if it's going up and around here, is going to be the inside. At least that's my take on it. I stared at that thing for a couple minutes going, huh? Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll let you guys check out what I got here. So I have this extra belt I can either zip tie or snip away. I haven't decided which yet. But the image is a little screwy. Now, oh, should I zip tie that last section or just snip it and be done with it? I vote snip. Be gone. All right. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to get rid of this excess because that just does not make life any easier for any of us. All right. 9 feet of belt gone. Yeah, that image was was really, really weird. Now the good news, guys, is if we've totally screwed this up, we do have some slack in the stepper motor to tighten or loosen. Okay, I think that guy's on there good. All right. Okay. Now the fun. What's really annoying is that since the centerpiece only has one point of contact, I'm noticing it pivots a little bit. So let me address that. Alright, so it looks like standing it up is kind of out right now because we have that in the way. So I'm guessing the next step is going to be putting it on its feet. But before I do that, this SOB is going to get an extra crank. Okay. Well, I said I was going to keep these live streams under 2 hours, but I got so carried away having fun doing this. So let me do this. I am going to put this back on its back side on this way. Boy. The only complaint I have, and let me grab the right mouse here. Yes, I just wanted to go back to your messages. Yes, the stepper motor does have, we do have quite a bit of room. Actually, let me give you the good news. So on the external view here, currently, let me fold this up a little bit here. So we're gonna work correctly. Okay, see, right now we're almost at the closest position. So we have quite a bit of distance if we want to go back if we have to. So we got that going for us. Or as I like to say, we accidentally did something right. Okay, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Do we want to press on with the next couple steps, or you guys want to bail out? I was going to play some DCS tonight with my friends, but on the other hand, we're making pretty good progress here. So I don't know. Let's see what another 15 minutes here gets us. So I'm going to stick with it for another step or two. And let's look at our instructions here. So this right here tells us about the bed. Secure bed thermistor to the center of the bottom Oh, okay, so we're talking about soldering and such. Well, I may skip that. Okay, and they're talking about adhering the bed. All right, that's fine. I'm going to skip that as well. Because what I really want to do is I really want to put the feet on this thing. Okay, so that's going to be the, yeah, but that's the front electronics. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for on the right side of the frame, because I don't want to leave this thing standing up on its side. And I think the instructions are a little goofy, because right now I got a great big giant stepper motor on the bottom here, so I really can't set the thing down. Okay, so on the right side of the frame out FM10, so that is what this thing is. So I'm being bad. I'm skipping a few steps here because I want to be able to set this printer down. So let's go ahead and let me get back over here to me. Yeah, let's get the feet done so we can set the damn thing down. And the other thing is, I mean, I haven't seen the instructions where I tighten these rods up. But you know what? I'm so tired of hearing them flop around, I may just make an executive decision to go ahead and do that. Because unless we missed it, I don't think we did. I may regret this, but I'm just tired of hearing those rods slide around in there. So what I'm doing is I'm tightening the Y rods. I thought I was. That's spin, spin, spin. Here we go. So I don't know if I'm skipping a step or getting ahead of myself or not. Holy crap, this is how sharp this metal is. I mean, I'm looking at my desk. If you're building this on a nice desk, you might want to think twice, because holy crap, I got gouges in this wood. Okay. Oh, step 4 says tighten them? Did I miss? Oh, someone has the directions open? Oh, bless you. So you're saying I missed a step a while back? Step 4 says tighten them. Yep. Oh yeah, it's definitely digging into the table. Okay, that's in. That's got a little wiggle. Thank you for keeping me honest here. Scrolling through what you guys are saying here. Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to get these feet on here. And I'm surprised, you know, if someone beats me to the directions or not, but I didn't see anywhere where it mentioned putting feet on, because I know they use, you know, these guys. So we need to be on the printer's right side, so that is over here. And all right, Do I have you backwards? I probably do. Boy, it's a pretty unusual way of doing this. Step 4, tighten the pinch bolts of the SF8. Yeah, okay. Just did that, Caleb. Thank you. Wonder how I missed that. All right, so we've got, yeah, I know, yell at me for saying all right again. So we've got this thing, and it's, sure looks like it goes in kind of weird. So, we also got a bunch of other peripheral holes here. So 1, 2, okay, well we got 3 in a row. Let's put some. So if you're just tuning in, we're kind of going out of sequence. The instructions go straight from putting the belt on to wiring up the bed, and we don't have feet on this thing, so it's kind of tough to do that. And if you guys are new, welcome. Thanks for watching. My name is Paul. This is my channel where nerdy is cool. If you're not a subscriber, mash the button. Become one. And if you want to help me out, if you like my videos, like my channel, be sure to check out the Patreon stuff. That'd be like wicked cool. Okay, now this is, doesn't look like it's very exact as far as how this all goes in. You know, trying to align this many T-nuts really is not one of my strengths. Oh, and sometimes it all just kind of snaps in. All right. Sorry, I said it again. I'm going to try to stay flush with the I-beam here. Okay, let's have you stay flush over here. Oh, here's another piece I can just level you out right there. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to make sure that the tops here are all flush. Did I like grab the wrong wrench? I did. Okay. That looks okay. I feel like I'm MacGyvering a little bit of this. I think you're right, Caleb. I think you're right. Good observation. So let's see. All this crap is in the way. Let's get the right mouse pad here. That one is on. So that has been achieved. Okay, then the electronics are going to mount to it. Blah blah blah. Before we do electrics, let's, thank you, that's what I'm looking for. Bolt on the remaining FM2 in the left rear corner of the frame. Well, so I'm guessing the front is going to be the giant support piece. Let's pick you up and move around. One thing's for sure, guys, this thing gained some mass today. It's only held by 2 screws. And here I am worried about being symmetrical here, and well, I'm definitely going to make a couple suggestions about the manual. I mean, this is obvious. Compared to their other printers, I'm sure this isn't nearly a big seller, but I definitely think the process here, as far as getting the feed on, it's kind of important, because we'll have to backtrack a little bit here. Okay, that's on. Again, just trying to make everything level with the I-beam. And we'll see how well in a second here it actually all sits. All right, let's see what kind of hot mess I've made. She got a hell of a lean. Actually, that belt looks better than I thought. So somewhere the front piece is going to go on with all the it's not, you know, I'll give the manual is really good. I mean, what he's done as far as, you know, obviously there's a few spots that need fixing, you know, the 4mm, you know, spacers, you know, that would have been nice to know the inner diameter. But it's a little bit weird to go from putting the belts on and this, the Y motor, and then have the printer sitting on the Y motor while you're wiring up the bed. Boy, this is a pretty heavy little printer. Really? There's nothing on the front left leg? Let's scroll through together. That's the wiring. Yeah, I know that all too well from the FT-i3. Wiring. More wiring. A limit switch. Limit switch. Oh, good grief. The only thing I can think of is that front plate goes all the way across. Yeah, you're right, Matt. As a matter of fact, here, let me show you. See, this is the front piece. So I don't know if I'm going to bite. Yeah, see, if I put that in now, I don't know if I'm going to bite myself on the ass trying to get the electronics in. Yeah, splicing wires. Yep. So part of me really wants to attach this. The other part of me thinks that it's going to really suck when it's time to put that electronics in there. Or what I can do is I can go back. Let's, how long am I into this video? 2:51? Okay, that's fine. 3-hour section's good. Let's go back a second here and let's look at the mounting of the LCD panel. So there we go. So the good news is, I mean, we can put that on. That's easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Because at least then, yeah, the display and the button, yeah, this is the exact same thing we have on the FT-i3. So what we can do is, let me move it over here. Chris Soros wrote the documentation, and we'll give him a heads up. Well, they say, hey Chris, the only problem we notice is that you're going from attaching the belts to suddenly soldering electronics, and you're leaving the printer sitting on a motor. And okay, yeah, that looks familiar. And that's my FDMI. There should be a little button here. There's my button. Okay, yeah. Button. And we need the ribbon cables for later on down the road. I got mice everywhere here. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. You should be able to do the display quickly now. Check out page 37. That is exactly where I am. Yep. Oh, sorry. Cat break. Yes. Gentlemen, meet Theodore. Theodore is a beast, and he is going to be 1 year old tomorrow and 1 hour and 30 minutes. The only problem with this cat is he stinks. He likes to literally lay in his litter box. So I've invested, thankfully, in that litter that comes with Glade. So now, you smell like Glade. All right, buddy. I'm going to let you go. All right. Sorry for that brief interruption. I am a cat guy. Can't help it. So let's look at the steps required to get this guy attached. I think this is just a matter of 4 bolts, as I recall. Is the sand feel? Yeah, I don't know. He's my first cat that's been like that. The other ones just kind of race in, race out. Okay, we're gonna look at the directions here real quick. So we have basically a bunch of M3 20 millimeter. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and we got all kinds of spacers. Okay, there's one. But you know what? I've found all the people that I learned tech from in IT have been crazy cat guys. I would go to my friend Bill's house back when 386s and 486s were the big computers. And that dude would sit there with a cat and just teach me the whole world about bus speeds and whatever. I mean, he was a cat guy, and I thought he was crazy, and now here I am. I got 3 cats. How the world works. Okay. Let me get back to the proper camera. So I have this. I have our spacers. Sorry, I got my logo kind of in the way, so you can't see what I'm doing here. We're going to need the nylon screws, nylon insert screws. And I think what we'll do, we'll get this buttoned on, and I'm kind of looking to see which side is prettier, but it really doesn't matter because it's got to go one way. Now the other thing I noticed that I don't see is there's supposed to be a stop button. I don't see a stop button. No, those are limit switches. Stepper driver heat sinks. MKS Gen 1.4 board. Nice. I got about 3 of these with TiVo. Oh, the dreaded electronics bag. Let's see if it's in there, because I do not see it in here. And frankly, it's not that big a deal if it's not in there. If I'm missing the button. I don't see it in there. I'm not going to worry about it. I've had the FT-i3 for 2 years and I've never hit that button. So, all right. Do we have a nice little clear plastic coating here we can remove? Yes, we do. Ooh. All right. So now the fun part is doing this, putting everything vertical. Maybe it's camouflaged. Well, worst case, I can always print one. The turbo button. Boy, I remember those days. Wow, I might have an issue here. Yeah, the now this is kind of funny, guys. I'm just kind of looking at this going, well, that's kind of weird. Put that level. So, oh, you little bastard. I've got screws and spacers everywhere. Oh, well. Get back there. So one thing I'm noticing with the electronics, I'm looking at the screws we have here, and they are too big. That's funny. Now, do I have the right screw? M3 by 20 millimeter, yeah. I don't think I have thinner ones in here. So I think literally I have to thread these into the PCB. Drill time. Yeah, someone read my mind. Great minds think alike. What did I do with that? All right, this is a, well, it's a drill and tap countermeasure all in one. Countersink all in one. But it's great at boring out. Come back. All right, was that enough? Oh, you rat bastard, not quite. Well, technically, thanks to the thread, it'll screw into it. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, see, this one's already fitting. So, oh, you little bastard. Yeah, so the worst thing I'm doing is I'm making it so that the M3s will thread through it. Because that's what I got. Threaded PCB. Not really what I wanted. So you know what? I'm just gonna, oh, where's my math? I think that's about an 1/8 inch. That's a bit overkill. Yeah, that's way overkill. Let's see. Every time I go to Harbor Freight, I buy a bunch of drill bits because they're like $3 and they're good for like 4 uses. Yes, I use Octoprint on almost all my printers. I love it. I use it on a Raspberry Pi 3. I don't do multiple printers on one Pi. Yeah, mini files are good too. Let's see, Theodore wants desperately to help. Let's see, what size? Yeah, 1/8 inch. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yep. And the drill. All right, now the question becomes, where did I place my drill last time? All this to mount something I thought would take 10 minutes. I don't have my adapter for this guy. Son of a gun. I'm really falling apart on the old tools. Anyone need a stack of RAM? Bunch of 4 giggers. I'm drawing a blank as to what I did with my power drill because the rechargeable one is dead. Let's see. Unless I left it upstairs again. Ah, Caleb, you're good. Yes, Caleb is in charge of promotions for me. Yes, if you guys wish to donate to me, I would appreciate that. That will definitely send me to Harbor Freight to buy more cheap toys. Woohoo! Yes! It's huge, it's ghetto, it's Craftsman. I charge 10%. Well, I'm glad someone's an entrepreneur around here. Okay. Spin, 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 spin. Yeah, unfortunately, our Sears is long gone. I used to work at that one. Alright, I should be wearing safety glasses and all that good stuff. Let's make sure you're going straight. Whee! Yummy! Oh, power! Alright, well that was exciting. Alright, I'll put you back in the 1/8 inch. Stack of stuff. Let's let me leave this on the floor because it's heavy, and when I'm walking and not expecting it, something large will wrap around my ankle and attempt to kill me. Let's see, let's go here. Don't breathe in the fibers, but they smell so good. All right, don't adjust your set. This is not deja vu. We didn't just do this. Unfortunately, we did. We are going out of sequence. If you're just tuning in wondering what step are you on, well, we kind of went out of sequence. It wasn't entirely our fault. Okay, that one's in, that one's in. The first thing I'm noticing as I look at the electronics here, I'm thinking to myself, what an awful location for the SD card. Oh, that wasn't cool. I made those pop out. That's fine. Just get a half twist on there. And so that's kind of not a cool spot for the SD card, but honestly, I'm not going to use the SD card much. This is going to be another machine on the Octoprint network. Circuit City. Yeah, we didn't have one here very long up here in Bangor. God, I think we had them maybe here for 3 or 4 years, and then they were goneville. Well, SD cards do come in pretty handy. I use them quite a bit on the Ultimaker. Just because they're there, and why not, right? And if I had the right size, yeah, screw it. We'll just use the all right, number 1 is in. 9 viewers. This is great, guys. I can't believe you guys are all hanging out with me on a Saturday night. I wish I could offer you a beer or something, but frankly, I like to offer myself a beer. Okay, no, I just thought of something and I thought, no, but no, I'm good. I thought this had to be underneath there, but no, we're good. Doobie doobie doo. Yes, if this faceplate isn't already scarred up, I was watching something the other day, and you guys will think I'm crazy for saying I enjoyed it, but Buck Rogers and the 25th Century. Not only the movie, but the entire first season. Second season was screwed up. The second season didn't have Mel Blanc doing the voice of Tweaky. And I'm probably showing my age because half you guys are probably 20-somethings and are going, Buck Rogers. Awesome 80s stuff. Okay. Well, it does kind of suck that giant, annoying speaker is there. Remove seal after washing. Well, let's see if I can remove the seal. Oh, come on, you. I don't know what that thing is. I think this is a speaker cover, but it is gone now, piece by piece. Theodore. Hey, Theodore, what are you doing running up and down the stairs? Here's the rest of it. All right. All right. So that's how the front looks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I suspect I'm going to regret doing this, but let's go ahead and let's just get this guy mounted on there. Boy, I'm down to my last bunch of M5s. Oh, there go the drill bits. And that. And that. Okay, well. Now we just have to get the let's see. You do know what Buck Rogers is. Okay, good. I make fun of the millennials more than I probably ought to. I work at a college campus, so you know, I see a lot of, I don't want to say the word snowflake because that'll make some people offended, but there's definitely some people that get offended by anything and everything. And what a horrible life they must have. Okay. Yeah, the Buck Rogers stuff, it's we're talking Buck Rogers now. This is great. You can't find a lot of those shows. You know, you might find a handful of them on YouTube, but because they're, you know, someone owns the rights to them, you won't find much. Well, gentlemen, it's starting to look like a printer. Okay, I definitely like the idea that this is all together like so. Okay, these are 20s. All right, let's do this. I know I said all right, I'm a bad man. So there it is. It's gonna, maybe I should go to wow, I got debris everywhere here. So it looks like our next session we will be doing a lot of wiring. Not my favorite section of the printer build. Wow, this table is, well, it's a shop table anyway, but holy crap, is it clawed up. Transformers. So you guys are talking about some great stuff now. Well, I think it was Caleb I owed the thank you to, but all of you guys as well too, thank you for help proofreading and following me up on this. There's a couple things that I'm noticing that we've talked about. I'm not crazy about, I mean, these hang free. There's no bottom, there's no support to these Z-screws. So the entire weight of this gantry is hanging essentially, you know, by these two stepper motor couplers. So that's, I have to say that's kind of, you know, one area of concern I have. It's one thing on the CR10 and the TiVo and such, where they're on the bottom, but they're not, you know, they're not they're not bearing all the weight. Well, they are bearing the weight, but I mean, they're not everything is being held up by that coupler. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to pan out for us. I don't like that nozzle's loose, but what can I do? Not crazy about that hot end, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build this thing as much stock as possible so we can try it. And I know that one of the things I would like to do is this whole hot end and all this stuff here. I would definitely like to make this a whole lot lighter. I would probably do, you know, either a E3D V6 then with a Bowden setup. That would definitely lighten the load. It's just the way it was put together, I guess. I mean, there's definitely some motion here, and I don't know why that is. It's because of the heat sink or whatever else, but there's definitely some play here. Yeah, it's because of the heat sink and the way it really only has 2 fans. But but the good news is this is moving very smoothly. Very happy with that. This is okay. I feel like the belt is good. The only things, and again, these are just cosmetic things that I'm looking at right now, is these are sharp edges. So if you opt to build one of these, be wary of that. Hey, did we miss a step as far as clamping down these rods too? I mean, I want to. I'm just looking at these right here, thinking I thought there was a step a while back where we had to tighten these guys up, but I don't remember us ever revisiting them, or maybe it wasn't documented. But I just noticed the screws are pretty stinking loose, so I'm gonna tighten them up. So overall, I think we're in a good spot. We're going to have to back up a little bit here to get back on track with their instructions. But wow, this is a big printer. And I don't mean big as in, you know, I mean it's the same size as the CR10, but I mean I think the outer dimensions are a bit bigger. I don't have a deburring tool. When I CNC stuff at my friend's place, I'm lazy. I just wind up mouse handing him. But some of those edges are pretty sharp. I mean, it's just the nature of the material. Step 6 of the Z says tighten the set screws. Okay. Caleb, you've been superb at going through these instructions here and double checking them with me. Thank you. And this stock print head I'm not crazy about. I'll show you why. First of all, it's huge. But this, see the steppers on there good and solid, but it's just this right here has that wobble to it. And as I look at this, I mean, the only way to really tighten, I mean, the fan is attached to the heat sink. Now, unless underneath here the heat sink has an attachment, I don't know. But that's a big heat break. And then, of course, the other problem, we don't have a cooling fan for our part cooling fan. Well, I'm wondering why they didn't include those, unless they fell out. But what's interesting is how much that fan affects that nozzle. Interesting, isn't it? But yeah, and just looking at a couple of these things, I mean, these are some pretty sharp edges. Very cool. So I think we've reached a good stopping point for the evening, because the next step is going to be doing more of the, we're going to be attaching the MKS board. Yeah, I'm kind of curious, you know, for poops and grins, what's behind here? Wrong wrench. You know what? This screw goes all the way to the heatsink. All the way. I'm just looking at how far the screw goes. Maybe it's just loose. I don't know. So let me try tightening it. Let me drop the Allen wrench too. Hey, guess what? Tightening this up made a big difference. So what I didn't realize, let me move this here. This screws all the way into the hot end. Come on, camera, give me some focus, please. Yep, so that goes right in there. Well, that camera doesn't want to play nice with me tonight. Dun, da, da. Boy, I'm all carved up. I think you're right, Matt. I definitely would like to do a Bowden setup on this. My FT-i3 is using a pancake motor instead of a stepper, and it's using a Titan Aero. And that thing works really, really well. My problem with the FT-i3 is I got a warp bed. I got to warp upper rails too. It's just the melamine. That all has to go. And I think this ACM is going to be a nice upgrade for that printer. But I agree. I mean, this is a tremendous amount of weight up here on this printhead. I do like the dual rods. My Ultimaker, you know, that uses a single rod back and forth, and the Ultimaker is just awesome with that. So I do like this. This is going to be pretty smooth, especially when it's under power. But I think an E3D. There's another manufacturer out there. I can't remember their name. It's the Spider hot end. It's a super lightweight hot end nozzle. That might be something fun to think about to put on here as well too. Might have to create a new mount, but certainly some good possibilities. Yeah, those screws were wicked loose. Must have just got loose in shipping. So that seems happier now. I completely agree with that, Matt. Yep, Matt, you are on the same page as I. But I'm curious to see how this is going to print, how it's going to do straight out of the box. I've never used one of his, even on my FT-i3. When I got the FT-i3, I modified everything. I didn't use any of the melamine corner pieces on the frame itself. I used the 2020 aluminum pieces. So my printer is heavier, but it's as much as I could do. I got rid of melamine and went with aluminum. 713 Maker makes some really good stuff for these printers, but he's always out of stock. I don't know what's going on with that guy. He makes some really nice stuff, but he's always way behind on stuff too. So I'm hoping to get some of his upgrades. Volcano's an interesting hot end. Yeah, I don't do stuff that I real well. For example, all the BB-8 stuff and all the panel pieces I've done at BB-8, those are all done at 0.2 millimeters. So they take 50 to 60 hours. I mean, I'm sure there's some prints out there that would benefit from a volcano, where you don't need the layer height and things like that. Unfortunately, the stuff that I'm printing is very highly detailed, so it needs to, print at those, small layer heights. This way you don't get those print lines as much. Yep. Well, we all seem to be on the same page, guys. We all think it's a good foundation. It's just a few tweaks that are needed. And for a kit that's $350, it seems like you get a good foundation anyway. And it's got an MKS board. I'm just curious as far as, I'd like to talk to some people that have theirs working. What are they using for a profile, for a retraction and stuff like that? Because I've never used one of his. And there goes my furnace. Not a jet engine, that's the furnace. All right. We've done 3.5 hours tonight on this build, but I'm pretty impressed as far as how far we got tonight. I think it looked pretty decent. I don't know what time tomorrow night I'll be able to jump into this. I have my meteorology course. I have a test I have to take tomorrow. So that's going to be a good time. I'm just seeing a few other things here I probably should have cleaned up, but I'm not going to worry about. I thought a tanker was flying by. Yeah. So again, hey, this has been fun having you guys all here for another evening as we build, and I thank you guys for sanity checking me along the way. I'm going to end the stream here in a minute or two. Again, I'm just going to say, if you're not already a subscriber to my Facebook page, go ahead and click on like. Same thing on Instagram, and as well as, of course, here on my YouTube channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please do. Joel Telling. Doesn't Joel Telling have one what? A volcano? I don't think Joel does kits. Saw something shiny and started talking to you guys again. All right, no problem. I'm going to call it quits for now. I will post on the FolgerTech forum on Facebook. I'll also post on my Facebook and let you guys know when we're doing this again. So the next part is going to be the electronics. Not exactly I'm not looking forward to it, but with your guys' help, I'll have some people that can sanity check me and make sure I'm doing good on this. And yeah, so have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, this is where nerdy is cool. Have a good night.